everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bubbles, the podcast about comics, anime, pop culture, movies, and all that entails. I am Terry Williams, and the gentleman next to me is Mr. Ben Dunn.
Hello, how are you?
I am good, sir. How are you?
Doing great.
Surviving all the weather, the rain, and all that?
It's been very, very wet this month for some reason.
Very wet. Very wet. Even though this month is just beginning, last month went rough, and now this month, which we're in May.
Yes.
And May always means May the 4th, which this year is also coincides with Free Comic Book Day.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm very excited about it. Free Comic Book Day is a very long tradition.
It is. I'm actually kind of excited for this one because there are a couple of books that I really want to get. Well, one that I want to get. I see that Gotcha Man has a book, Battle of the Planets. They're starting it over, and there's a Free Comic Book Day one that I want to get.
Is that Gotcha Man or Battle of the Planet?
It's Gotcha Man.
Oh.
Which was really cool, because I know it is Battle of the Planets from back in the 70s when they, I guess, brought it to the U.S.
Yeah, Sandy Frank bringing it over back in the 70s.
Yeah, I fell in love. That was one of my early entries into the anime realm was Battle of the Planets.
I also think that it may be the first anime where they actually did new animation for the show.
Right. In fact, with that, I was, I knew nothing about it. So when after watching Battle of the Planets as a kid, somewhere, I think a movie trading company, maybe I saw Gotcha Man, and I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's Battle of the Planets. I was like, look at them copying Battle of the Planets. I had no idea Gotcha Man was the precursor. But yeah, Free Comic Book Day is one of those, it's a long-standing tradition. When did it start? Started, what, 2005 maybe?
I don't know. I think it may have started,
maybe earlier than that.
I don't know the actual tradition. I do know that it was a big thing back then. It was some kind of unusual thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know the circumstances that actually started it, but it's been going on ever since.
Right.
And it seems to be a big promotional thing for comic book companies.
Oh, that was close. Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. And now all distributors are kind of pitching in and doing something to get new books out there. If you have a book that's coming out or a character that's big, you put it out at Free Comic Book Day. And I know a little, my history of Free Comic Book Day is from Box Seat and Denison that used to be the LCS there. Doug would get Free Comic Book Day and made it this big thing around where, kids come in and get them into reading, that kind of thing. It's before any of us thought that free comic books were going to be worth any value on the secondary market. But
there have been some notable first appearances of Free Comic Book Day.
They are. In fact, this year, the Scuttlebutt, there is and I forgot the book. There is I think it's the Transformers that's coming out in Free Comic Book Day. And there's already several folks on eBay that have them up for sale for like $20 and $30. And people are thinking,
sort of defeats the whole purpose of Free Comic Book Day.
Aren't they supposed to be free? And, it's kind of ruined by some of the collectors out there in the flippers. Speculators that go in and get multiples and keep it from everybody being able to get one.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of retailers have put limits on how many you can actually get nowadays. It used to be it was a free for all.
Just
take whatever you want.
Yeah. But, and now they really do limit it to one per customer or whatever. Even though there's still guys will have 4 friends that come in with them and all grab a copy and take it, and then you see them up on eBay at more. Which I'm not hating on the fact that people are making money. It just seems like we've lost what Free Comic Book Day was about. It was a day. One, for retailers to get more people into their store.
Right.
And hopefully sell them some back issues or something
and try out new ideas and new titles, to give people a chance.
Yeah. And Doug and Denison would do it to get kids in.
Yes.
Because a lot of the titles, a lot of the books were kid-friendly or aimed at children. So it was a great way to get new readers into the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But, not to be under the illusion that it's actually free. Retailers and retailers and comic publishers still have to pay for the actual printing and distribution.
Just what I was about to say, because one of the local vendors or comic book store owners was saying on Facebook how there was this big thing about how many are you getting, this kind of thing. He's like, and I'm ordering what I normally order. I ordered a lot, but don't forget, even though it says free, we pay, I think he said like 25 cents a book or something. It's by no means what it was, but still,
too,
I mean, if you're a big store and you order 500 or 1,000 at 25 cents, that still adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Plus the shipping.
I know from the publisher's standpoint, they just simply can't just print a book and just send it to Diamond. No, the Diamond has tier programs for publishers. So depending on what tier program, they like a gold, platinum, silver, levels like that. Depending on how much you want to actually engage in Free Comic Day, depends on your level.
Right.
The participation.
Right. So random question, has Antarctic participated?
Yes, we participated in the past, but we found that the cost of actually doing it was prohibitive, and we decided that it just wasn't worth the expense of actually participating in Free Comic Book Day.
Right. Yeah. Whereas distributors like Marvel, or DC can absorb that.
They can
a lot better. I mean,
and a lot of small publishers still do it because they feel it's a good way for promoting their titles. We figure that we've been around long enough that we've already pretty much set our audience, and also, like I said, it's just we just think our money would be better spent in other areas.
Right. Yeah. But I love the concept. I love that seeing all of the different LCSs doing different things with it. And this year, with it being on May the 4th, it's a big Star Wars tie-in. People are, doing, I know a couple of stores are doing a Star Wars cosplay contest as well, just to get, making it a big fun event, which the weather's supposed to be, again, icky kind of thing, some rain. So hopefully it'll be a way to drive those customers out of the house and get them out into the stores and buying some, or picking up something that may get you started. Because I actually know a couple of guys who are close to my age, not quite, but more like Josh's age, but they actually picked up a book through Free Comic Book Day and started reading. It's like, oh, well, this is pretty good. And it was free. They went, just with someone who knew about comics and just was hanging out and happened to go in, and it was free. So I thought, I'll try it. It's free.
Sure.
And they're like, oh.
Well, I mean, cool. How effective do you think it has been in bringing customers in?
I think it brings customers in, but I think it primarily brings customers in that are the customers that are looking to flip or speculate. But it's also bringing in customers, I think, who, now that the comic book prices have gotten so expensive, it's a great way to, if you're on the fence, if you've heard about a title, I don't know, it's a great way to pick that title up and see if you're going to like it for free before buying it. Because now, when I was a kid, we would go into we didn't have a comic book store, but we had a newsstand where we would go in and buy our books. Right. But we could stand, they did not mind us standing because we would literally, me and my buddy Chris would go in and literally be in the newsstand for 2 hours, looking through books, reading books.
Hey, this ain't no library.
Yeah, but they would allow us to. Now that's not the case because, books are valuable. The prices have gone up. If it's not mint, if it's not a 9A, people don't want it. So if it's getting read, that kind of stuff, people just don't want it. And now a lot of LCSs even bag and board their new releases, so you can't peruse them until you buy them. So it's one of those things where this is the best way, not the best way, it's a good way to get new readers on a title. Now, I don't think there's people out there, or if there is, it's a very small amount that, oh, this new comic book day is a new reader, I'm going to go on this day to see what I want to read. I don't think I don't think it's getting those people.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate because I think the whole idea behind, like you said, New Comic Book Day was to try to drive more people into comic stores, at least to be aware that they have a comic store,
right?
And hopefully get them to be longtime readers and supported. But it seems more like it's become like a holiday, so to speak.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Instead of a promotional drive.
Yeah, it's it's almost like free comics are. If you go to the LCSs this Saturday, you're going to notice that there may be a line in the morning when they open. If they open at 10, the line's going to be gone by like 11.
Yeah, because all the good stuff.
Because all the books are gone that everybody wants. Yeah. And you're going to see the guys that send, I'm going to go here, you go here, you go here, and they're going to hit up as many as they can and get as many copies.
Yeah, I also noticed recently, I don't know how long they've been doing this, but now they require the comic book stores stamp their location on the back of the book.
Yeah. And again, and again, it's a freebie. So if you're going to complain and he and ha about that, I don't, you know.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people complain you get something for free.
And again, as a reseller, I have no issues, no condonement for anyone that does that. I'm only saying, don't go in and get every issue and leave some, teenager not being able to read a book. It seems kind of childish.
I noticed that now a lot of retailers, they put a limit.
Yeah.
You can only take like 3 or 4.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, some even like, I know they used to, you could get one of every title.
Every single one, yeah, no problem.
Now you can only pick 5.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things. It is what it is. But again, supply and demand. I'm sure if the retailers could order, if they were free and every retailer could order, 100 of every book, they would.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, like I know some of them only have, ordered maybe 5 of one issue and 20 of another and 40 of them, just depending on popularity.
Their demand will
be,
yeah, exactly. Well, I hope it's a tradition that keeps on going. I'm not sure how long they can keep this up.
Yep.
We'll see, depending on how healthy the industry is.
Yeah, but I mean, so this marks 21 years now, I guess, that it's been going on, and 22 years.
22 years.
So obviously it's doing something.
Yeah, well, let's hope so. I mean, the thing is that I've been seeing that a lot of people are complaining about, comic industry is not doing very well. And it's just sad to see that happening. But hopefully this will be like a little ray of sunshine for the comic industry. We can all celebrate it. Just enjoy it.
Because there actually have been some really big books, like One Punch Man. First appearance was a free comic book day book, and it's actually expensive. Yep, they sure did. Yep, yeah, absolutely. These are all things that, man, again, if you missed out on the original, but with One Punch Man, it was his first appearance. With Invincible, it was already out, but they redid it, so it's a great way to pick up issue 1 for free and read it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. So, Josh, do you partake of Free Comic Book Day, or have you partaken of Free Comic Book Day? Dude, what a great afternoon.
I swear.
Yeah, you waited on Thursday more than Friday. It's like, oh, what's this crap? It is. Yeah, all that stuff is just, that's really cool. And then getting them, maybe from 04, having one of those in high grade would be, because I know at the LCS in Denison, when he would have his, he just kind of threw them out, and people came and pillaged through them. Look, they were ransacked. So getting a high grade copy would be really hard to do. No. Whole box. But I'm a voracious reader. I'm going to read every copy. Right? So that's funny. I'm glad that you got to participate and know what it's like, the fun of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exactly what it started out being, and I think it still is for a lot of people. But like I said, a lot of the stores now are doing it where it's more of an event, like you said, Ben. Dude. Right. Yeah, with me, for me, it did turn me onto a lot of new things, because I wouldn't pick up books that I knew, like Spider-Man, all that, I would find titles that were there that I'd never heard of. But oh, I don't want to spend. My mentality was, I'm on a budget. I don't want to spend money on this, but I do want to know if I'll like it. So I'll pick up the ones that I don't know about and read those and see if I like them.
Absolutely, yep.
Which I think is kind of what it was intended for.
Yeah, I also noticed that a lot of foreign publishers also participate in Free Comic Book Day as well.
Yep.
Try to promote their new whatever they're doing.
Yep. It's a great way to do it, and I mean, kudos to Diamond and the publishers for doing that, and to the distributors for making it such an event. Speaking of events, look at that segue. I'm getting good at segues. Speaking of events, Fallout. Everyone knows the game, but now there is a series. Amazon Prime, correct? I think.
I believe so.
I think Prime. Yeah.
Prime.
I started it. I'm on episode 4, I believe.
Yeah, I watched the whole series.
Really?
Yep.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm not familiar with the video game at all. In fact, the only reason I even, watched it is because my wife wanted to watch it because it looked interesting. The idea, the premise. We watched the trailer. I said, let's give it a shot. So we watched the first episode, and the setup was pretty interesting. It was pretty engaging. I had no idea how close it is to the actual video game. A lot of people say it's very close to the video game, or at least at least they're trying to make it as close to the video game. I have no idea, but it is an interesting premise. There are things in it that I think are, interesting takes. For those of you not familiar with Fallout, it's basically what if a nuclear apocalypse happened in the 1950s?
Right. Fallout.
That's basically
the title Fallout, which I knew that part about it, and that's about all I knew about the game series, is what it was kind of loosely based on. But when I saw the previews for it, I was like, I don't know. But then I saw that one of the stars is Walter Goggins, and I'm a huge Walter Goggins fan. So I was like, oh, well, it's got to be at least decent. And so far, the first episode was kind of slow, I thought. I was kind of not really sure kind of what's going on. And again, they have to lay the groundwork and everything, which I understand. But episode 2 picked up really well, and 3 was good. So far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. I don't think it was, Game of Thrones groundbreaking, but it was certainly entertaining.
Right.
It certainly, there were a few things, as character-wise, I thought were kind of silly. I think, I would never do that. But then I'm not in that circumstance, so maybe it fits within the context of the character and situation that they're in. Like one of the things I always wondered about is whenever you have a story about the apocalypse, there seems to be always plenty of bullets and plenty of gas. So I have no idea.
And wouldn't gas be the thing that goes out pretty much the quickest?
I would think so, but yet
that's what always got me with like series like The Walking Dead. How they're years down the road, they're still finding usable gas in some vehicles and it's sitting on the side of the road forever.
And plus, they have this technology that doesn't seem to jive, but they do explain, how that is possible.
Right.
So at least it wasn't like a given. They actually did try to explain, story-wise, how all this may be possible.
Right. So, Josh, have you watched it? Have you started it? Are you familiar with the game?
Do you have any interest in it? Okay.
I enjoyed it again, but I'm a Walter Goggins fan, so he's the main reason I started watching it. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I think that to me, so did you, Josh? Did you watch WandaVision? To me, this has a WandaVision feel. In that the some of the when they they had it done in like a 60s style TV series, the way it was filmed. The first episode of this was kind of that way to me as well. It had that feel to it. But then it actually okay. So episode 2 picked up a lot. And I thought, okay, this is pretty good. And then it doesn't really drop off after that. So it maintained, so far it's maintained. And Ben, you think it maintained all the way through pretty much, right?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. There was a few slow parts that, but they were very rare. And the fact of the matter is for those of you who may not be familiar with the story setup, it takes place after a nuclear war in the 1950s, and we learn over the course. I don't want to go into spoiler territory,
Sure.
But it follows these societies that were created, these fallout shelters called vaults, where societies survive through generations, the aftermath of that nuclear war. And so
And the original movie was out in the 80s.
Well, okay, so the story actually takes place about 100 years after the nuclear war. Okay, we find out there's this character who lives in a certain vault, a female character. For some reason, I can't remember her name. But she they get married with other characters from other people from other vaults, so that you can do diversification of the gene pool.
But yeah, you don't want to inbreed.
You don't want to inbreed because that's a bad thing.
Inbreed's bad.
So
that's our stance here on Beyond the Bubbles. Inbreeding is bad.
All you do is look at the movie. Oh, what on earth is that? Okay, so the premise is that she's about to get married with someone from another vault. The vault's been infiltrated by bad guys, and they they attack the vault she's in. She survives, and her father is kidnapped, by these people who are, they're called raiders, and so they fight off the bad guys, but not until her father gets kidnapped. So she takes it upon herself to go find her father. So she has to go out of the vault. And then that's where you see the story from her eyes initially. Then they introduce a new character, okay, who's part of this, who lives above ground, who's part of this military group through sort of a feudal system where they have these people in armor, mechanized power armor called knights, and he's like, he's part of that group. And they go through his eyes about what it's like to be above ground. And then of course they two meet, and then there's a third character called the Ghoul, who we actually see him from the 50s, and somehow he survived all these years, through some sort of, medical procedure that allows him to live for that long. But they're basically zombies, but they're intelligent, and they take this serum that prevents them from going feral, basically from eating. Going feral, where they lose their intelligence and become just zombies.
Yeah, and that's Walter Goggins, who I absolutely.
Yeah, he's a good character. He plays sort of an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. He's not. At first you think that he's the villain. Yeah. But then he turns out to be sort of an anti-hero. As the series goes along. And then there's a scientist who has some sort of secret that everyone's after.
And that's the guy that was from Lost. Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He was. I can't think of his name in Lost, but he was the one who was basically doing everything.
I mean, I've only seen the series once, so I'm not deep into the lore yet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I freaking love. Yeah, I love Lost. Yeah. 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 Yes. He actually was a great character, and he's great in this.
Yeah, I as a person who's never seen the video game or even familiar with it, I thought the actual premise itself was very interesting. It drew me in. The storylines, the characters weren't The tone shifts, constantly from being a
Right.
comedy
Yeah.
to being a serious.
That's the one thing I found about the first episode that I didn't like, is that it went from being almost an over the top comedy to like not over the top, unbelievable comedy to this serious moment, then back to kind of that kind of was a little weird, but other than that,
Yeah, I mean, there was an underlying tone of comedy in
Mhm.
there, but they still treat the source material seriously.
Yes.
There were consequences for sure.
Yep.
And people live and die based on their actions and how they treat things, and that's just I thought was kind of an interesting juxtaposition of each other's.
Mhm.
I didn't, and but the story was strong. I thought it was solid.
Yep.
So it was a very interesting. An interesting world, basically.
Yes. Yeah. This, and again, it's nothing. I'm not going to put it up there like you. It's not like Game of Thrones. It's not The Wire. It's not The Sopranos. It's none of that stuff. But it is an interesting series.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not doing anything, there's nothing to watch, you're stuck in the house, go ahead and start it. It's definitely worth a watch. I'm not going to say it's one of those series that I'll talk about in 10 years, but it's definitely entertaining.
Well, what I really liked was the world building.
Yes.
They
I
tried to
thought so too.
explain everything in real terms that makes sense.
Yep.
It wasn't like a Deus Ex Machina thing where there's, oh, it happens to me there.
Right.
They actually try to explain how, what happened, who was behind it, why the technology exists that does, and the society that was built
Right.
after the aftermath.
Yeah,
of
and
that
that's
war.
always fascinated me, the post-apocalyptic societal,
Mhm.
how society is going to function, who becomes, how does it, what's everything based on? Is it
Mhm.
lawless? Is there law? There's certain groups that try to have law and order, and others that are just anything goes kind of
Mhm.
thing. That's always fascinated me, so I enjoy that part.
I mean, people get upset when they don't get internet,
Yeah, right. Yeah. So now it's like
Yeah, society totally breaks down.
Yeah.
I don't get Wi-Fi.
exactly.
So you can imagine what would happen if there was a true collapse of society.
Yeah. Exactly. Then we have one more thing I thought we could touch on today is Bond, James Bond.
Oh yeah. I'm very surprised by the announcement that impossible.
No, it's Craven the Hunter, right? Is who it is? Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yeah.
He's been approached, but he hasn't been signed. Is that correct?
Right. Which,
well, I could see him wanting. I just can see the producers wanting to go back to the rugged, really sort of dangerous looking.
right. When you have Henry Cavill, that's right there. Idris Elba, or is Idris Elba first and then Cavill? Yeah, both of those would have been perfect Bonds, I think. Yep. True. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he was in Man from Uncle.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. He's both. Yeah. He's charismatic. The women love him. He can also kick your ass. I mean, you can believe all those things about him.
Well, I actually think that he was probably more. I mean, at least looks is that that's the James Bond other than when we had Daniel Craig,
right?
Which to me I never bought as James Bond.
No.
Okay, I just could not accept him as James Bond.
No, there's only one Bond, Sean Connery.
Well, yeah, I agree with you there, but he set the template,
right?
Okay, he set the template.
Yeah. Daniel Craig's. Oh, absolutely. I can agree with that.
Oh, you see, I disagree with you there. I think the Daniel Craig James Bonds I thought were kind of boring. They were just they were just lots of talk, and then and it was almost like a deconstruction of James Bond where
yeah, just that.
I wanted James Bond to be gadgets and fighting a villain and
yeah. That was great.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The voice. Yeah.
Well, you can always get people to voice actor
True,
voice
yeah.
coaches.
Yeah, that would be. How great would that be, though? How great would that? I was just thinking that. How great would that be?
Is he not British? Is he British?
And it's off just a little, so almost you could tell it's dubbed. Yeah, just a little off. That would be amazing. That would be priceless. I would pay just for that.
Well, it also depends on what kind of story. Are they going back to like the Daniel Craig movies never happened, or are they going to just do a whole new set of James
I have
Bond?
no idea. Is it a reboot? Just a basic, yeah. Yep.
So I guess you could sort of treat all the James Bond movies as sort of multiverse James Bond.
Yes. Yeah. Which, yeah. That would be,
But
they
if
all meet somewhere.
if you
we
treat it like that, it seems more acceptable.
Yeah. We have AI Sean Connery make an appearance, like AI Luke.
Roger Moore.
Yeah. There is one that I thought actually.
I would have gone with a complete unknown.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But as far as just here's this new dashing young man.
Right,
This is him.
This is him.
Yeah, Ben Dunn.
I would make a lousy James Bond.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I have troubles going upstairs.
Yeah. One I would think about would be, for me, I would think, and it's just kind of out there. It's not really one who I think would work, but I would almost give it a try. There's two. One is James McAvoy. I think would be good.
Mm. Yeah.
And then the dude that was Hitman. What's his I can't think of his name.
John Stamos?
No. I can't. Why can I not think of his name? He's a great actor. Well, he's not great, but I like him in that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could see
yes.
that.
Yeah, he could, because he was really good in what was that? He was the was it Kong? Wasn't he in Kong? Skull Island?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good in that as that type actor.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. That would be good. Yeah.
Interesting.
That would be great. Yep. Great shape. Love him. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He could do that. That would be great. That would be great.
Interesting, yes.
Oh, wow. A huge market would open up automatically. Yep. Or to make Bond great, just do like the best Bond movie was, which I don't even know the title to the Bond movie. I just know that Halle Berry was in it.
Oh.
Yeah. That is it. No, it doesn't matter. No. If she's in it, it's great.
That's Pierce Brosnan. Is that correct?
Unfortunately, lucky bastard. No, it didn't. No. He was a really bad Bond, I thought. No. It was. It might not have been him as the actor. It's just the role.
I just didn't think he had the physique, to be honest.
Right.
He looked too skinny. You know?
Yeah. Yes. Which really surprised me, because as he got older, Connery didn't have that, but Connery always had that rugged.
His presence.
Yeah.
His
presence. And the voice was it. Yeah.
And that swagger about him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He was.
Yes, I
He
agree
was.
with you there.
He was.
I
In
think
fact,
he was
until
sabotaged
Daniel
by the
Craig,
script.
it was Connery. Yeah. No.
He was goofy.
Yeah.
Let's face it, he was goofy.
Timothy Dalton was good. Yeah. Yep. Right.
Yes, I agree. Timothy Dalton definitely got the short end of the
Yeah.
stick. He definitely had that. He was just. I think what the producers wanted was that, during the late 80s or he wanted to compete with the action stars
Right.
at that time, and they felt that everything had to be super serious.
Yep.
Had to be treated. And when you go from one extreme where you have the goofy Roger Moore stuff to suddenly super serious things, you got to have sort of a transition. So that people are not like, whoa,
buffer. You need the buffer. Yep.
It is.
So,
it is.
That reminded me, Timothy Oliphant. That's who I was. That's Hitman, right? That's Hitman. That's it. Yeah. And there's one other one that's off the wall, but I think he could pull it off because he's doing everything right now. It's Ken from Barbie. What's his name? Ryan Gosling. Because the Beavis and Butthead, I'm waiting on a Beavis and Butthead for them to get that going. Oh my gosh!
Wait. What are you talking about here?
So he and one of the Saturday Night Live actors are doing this where they show up as they did a skit on SNL with Beavis and Butthead.
Really?
And he just did an interview or a red carpet.
Now, was this sanctioned by Paramount and Warner?
Well, I believe so. But they just did he was at a red carpet event and he ran off. I came back with the other guy as Beavis and Butthead. And it blew the internet up.
Oh, so this was just like a joke thing they did.
It was, but yeah. Yeah. So, I mean,
I did not see that.
Is that a Mike Judge? Is he Beavis and Butthead?
Yes.
Yeah. So Mike Judge that would be amazing because they nail it.
Well, they did. They did 2 movies with Beavis and Butthead already.
Live action would be, and the way the industry is going with the success of Barbie, and even with the success of things like Sonic.
I'm not sure though. It depends on the script because some things that work in animation does not necessarily work.
Right.
But I guess in the short spurts, like you just said, I haven't seen it, so I have no idea what you're talking about, to be honest. But I guess it's on YouTube. So
I'm a Beavis and Butthead nut, so I still laugh ridiculously at everything. When I go back and watch it, I'm still that dude. Josh, one other thing I wanted to mention, you might have seen this, being the movie guy that you are. Have you seen the biopic that's just got green lighted about Chris Farley?
No.
Did you see who's playing? I don't either, but he's from gosh, now I just saw he's been like 5 movies and I forgot all of them. Yeah.
So they're doing a biopic on Chris Farley?
Yes. Wow. And it's being greenlit by the Farley family as well.
Whoa.
And Lorne Michaels is producing.
Now wasn't he supposed to be the original voice of Shrek?
Chris Farley? I think. I'm not sure. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yes. I'm losing all of his movies. He's been in like 4 recently that are really good. And he nailed the role. Yeah. I'm blank, but yes, yes, Richard. Yes. He was the other. Yeah. Yep. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's the one about the Olympic.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. But he was great in that movie.
He is. Yeah. This is. I'm because I'm a Farley nut, so this is right in my wheelhouse. I cannot wait. I do. And Lorne Michaels producing. Of course, he's going to stay true to all the SNL stuff. David Spade.
Now this is
Sandler, all those guys. Yeah.
Now this is interesting because Chris Farley would be the last comedian I think they would do a biopic on, to be honest. I mean, how many people actually know who Chris Farley is? First of all, but if you think about it, there's Robin Williams. No one's done Robin. There's John Belushi. There's.
I think
so?
Farley's story is way more interesting. I think.
You think so?
Yeah, and there's still people like me still talk about Farley all the. I mean, that's his skits will live in my brain rent free forever. Yeah, because of his, and it was cut so short. And his movies were really like Black Sheep.
Well, what about the guy who played the Troy McClure in The Simpsons? He was in that.
The one that
his wife killed.
What's his name, Josh? Oh my gosh.
What we're talking
yes,
about.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't. I'm in blank.
I'm drawing a blank on this one too. But
there's been some great. The one that his wife killed him. The SNL cast member wife killed him.
Yeah. He was the voice on The Simpsons.
Yeah, voice on The Simpsons.
Or the Lionel Hutz.
Yeah, and I can't think of his name now, but yeah. But for me, Farley has this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll grant you.
Phil Hartman.
Yes. Phil Hartman. Yes.
Yeah. Farley has this point, and he's this figure of my life he was at his peak during not maybe my formative years, but the years that I was becoming an adult and figuring out life, like mid-20s. He was my getaway from reality.
This is true. You don't forget him.
Yeah.
When you see him perform, he's one of those actors that you just leaves an impression.
Yeah, and I think this actor they got is going to do great because I think he can capture the joy that was Farley, the physicality that was Farley, and unfortunately the rough part of Farley, the demise that was Farley.
Well, what were the two movies he was in? He was in
Black Sheep and
Beverly Hills Ninja.
Tommy Boy, Beverly Hills Ninja. Yeah. One that doesn't get talked about a lot, which is great, is Almost Heroes.
Oh, completely forgot about that one.
I'm telling you, I'm a Farley guy. Coneheads. He was in Coneheads. Remember, he was in Coneheads.
A cameo in Coneheads. That's right.
I mean, come on. Let's give the man his props. Comic royalty.
Which ironically is a very underrated comedy.
I love Coneheads. Yes. It's one of my
I'm surprised it's not up there with comedies of all great comedies of all time. Yes, Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy is exactly. It's you can't. Yes.
Yeah. We'll see because it all comes down to the script,
Right.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see if the SNL they actually have cameos of them because they were a different age back then.
Yes. Yeah.
Are they gonna have lookalikes?
I don't think that. I don't think that, but I do think. I mean, and I'm like Josh. I think with Lorne Michaels at the helm, I think all of Farley's friends, which all of them still hold him in such high esteem, will have tons of input. And we're going to get some of the stories that probably haven't ever been leaked, some of the backstage stuff that happened, some of the antics that have happened.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Yeah.
And surprisingly, David Spade hasn't changed all that much.
No, he can still do it. Yeah, just a little makeup and he's right back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think he has the Dick Clark secret.
Yeah, something. Yeah. But so that's pretty much it for today. But before we go, I do want to give a quick shout out. You'll notice I'm wearing a shirt today called Sparky's Comics. This place, if you're ever in Oklahoma, near Tulsa, it's in Catoosa, Oklahoma, little small town right outside of Tulsa. But the guys there, Ronald owns it, along with his son, Travis. They do tremendous stuff. It's only been open 3 weeks. I think this is the 3rd week of opening for them. Great guys. Peter, I'm sorry, why did I say Travis? Peter is his son. Amazing guys, great guys. Go in, tell them Beyond the Bubbles you saw them here. Let them know we recommended you because these guys are really, really great. And it is a store that's brand new, and it's kind of outside of the big mainstream Tulsa area, so it's a little comic shop.
That'll be worth the trip.
Yeah, it's the down home fun, and again, they're friends of mine, so it's gonna be fun. But again, that's an episode for today. We appreciate you guys as always. Please do us a favor, go hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like even. Give us ideas if you want to see something, if you like something, if you don't like something, let us know that. We're only here because of you. I mean, yeah, we like talking to each other, but we love interacting with you even more. So let us know what you think. We're also on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Anywhere podcasts are, you can find us. And Ben has some socials I'm sure he'll give you, so you can go find him.
Yes, I'm on BenDunnComics.com. I'm also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and X, so you can find me pretty easy.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, we appreciate it. And go get free comic books and enjoy. Let us know how it's going. Be safe out there. And again, please like, subscribe. Thanks. See you next time.